Welcome to the next lecture of electric power system. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the long transmission line. We have discussed the concept of traveling wave, incident and the reflected wave and the standing wave. In this particular lecture, we will focus on surge impedance, which is known as the characteristic impedance, and we will discuss what is surge impedance loading. So, if the load impedance if the load impedance which is equal to the value of the receiving end voltage by the receiving end current. So the load impedance is equal to receiving end voltage by the receiving end current if this value of ZL is equal to the characteristic impedance, then the reflected voltage wave will be zero. Means we have discussed that from the sending end to the receiving end, the voltage wave one is going, which is known as the incident wave, and other which is reflecting, known as the reflecting wave. So if ZL is equal to ZC, then the reflected voltage wave will be equal to 0. The reflected voltage wave will be 0. So the reflected voltage wave basically is the equation given by VR minus IR into ZC is equal to 0, where ZC is the characteristic impedance or the surge impedance of the line. Now any line which is terminated with ZC means if your value of ZL is equal to ZC and if the line is terminated with this value of ZC, it is known as the infinite line. The incident wave under this condition cannot distinguish between termination and infinite continuation of the line. The incident wave which is going through the line will not able to distinguish between the termination and infinite continuation. So the reflected wave will be zero. The reflected wave will be zero, and there will be only incident wave in the line. Now normally for an overhead transmission line, the value of ZC is equal to 400 ohms and its phase angle is 0 to minus 15 degree. And for an underground cable, the value is 1/10 of the overhead transmission line. So if in overhead transmission line the value of characteristic impedance is 400, in underground cable it will get into 1/10, which is equal to 40 ohms. Now the term surge impedance is used for surges. What are surges? Surges are basically the lightning or the switching over voltage, or it is used in transmission line without losses. So the value of ZC, which is the characteristic impedance, is equal to the surge impedance, which is given by under root j omega L by j omega C is equal to under root LC, and it is a pure resistance. It is a pure resistance. We will see the derivation of this, how it has come. For the time being, we have understood that the surge impedance, which is also known as the characteristic impedance, are resulting because of the surges. Surges are the lightning or the switching action or any transmission line without losses. So basically the characteristic impedance or surge impedance is equal to under root the line inductance by the line capacitance, and it is a pure resistance. Now the long transmission line have distributed lumped inductance and capacitance. This we have seen in the last lecture in the long transmission line. Long transmission line generally will have distributed parameters rather than the lumped parameters. So when the transmission line are energized, then capacitance will feed the reactive power to the line and inductance will absorb the reactive power. So we know that the reactive power can be either positive or negative. Then the positive reactive power generally goes with capacitance and the negative reactive power generally goes with inductance. So when the line will be energized, the capacitance will feed the reactive power because a positive sign is involved. So capacitance will feed the reactive power, and the inductance will absorb the reactive power. So plus Q with capacitance and minus Q with inductance. Now the amount of reactive power, the unit of reactive power will be in megavolt ampere rating. Range depends on the capacitive reactance and energized line voltage. So what is the voltage of the line? First and second parameter is what is the capacitive reactance Xc. These two parameters will describe the value of Q, and the unit of Q is generally in the range of megavolt ampere reactive. Okay. Next, the mathematically this expression will be given in this form. We know that power is equal to V square by R. We know that power is equal to V square by R. So we can thought of the Q, that is the reactive power, is equal to V square by X. Right? So that is the reason we can say that megavolt ampere rating, which is the reactive power capacitance, is equal to kilovolt square by Xc. This will be given in unit as MVAR. Now, transmission line use reactive power to support their magnetic field. We know that whenever there is a current, there is a magnetic field. So the reactive power is very important to support the magnetic field. The strength of this magnetic field will depend on the magnitude of the current and the natural reactance of the line. So any line which is having a reactance X and the current flowing I will give a magnetic field strength H, which depends upon the current and the natural reactance of the line. Now, the value of the reactive power in inductance is equal to I square XL. So, this is for the capacitance and this is for the inductance. So, MVAR for the inductance is equal to I square XL. So, surge impedance loading reactive power production is equal to reactive power used by the transmission line. Means whatever the reactive power the inductor is having and whatever the reactive power the capacitor will be having, so both the reactive power will equal each other, then only will get surge impedance loading of the line. The reactive power balance relation can be written as, this will be the circuit where you have the generator and this is the load, this is the natural reactance of the line, here you have the sending end voltage, here you have the receiving end voltage, and this is the shunt capacitance of the line. So if you have a load resistor, so it is a load resistor terminated with a load and the voltage is VR. So we can write the value of QL is equal to QC. So QL is given by I square XL and QC is given by V square XC. It means XL, if you multiply XL and XC, so we'll get XL XC is equal to V square by I square. The meaning is, if we know that XL is equal to omega L and XC is equal to 1 by omega C. So the value, if we substitute omega L by omega C, we get V square by I square. Next, if you take the square root on the both side, we get under root omega L by omega C is equal to V by I, and V by I is equal to under root L by C, because omega cancel out each other. Then the value of ZC is equal to under root L by C. So the value of ZC is equal to under root L by C. Next, so here we see that how the characteristic impedance or the surge impedance of the line is equal to under root LC. Now the next topic that we are going to take is what is surge impedance loading. This is basically the power in the circuit. So surge impedance loading is the unit of power. So surge impedance loading is an important parameter in power system where an issue arises related to prediction of maximum loading capability of transmission line. So if you have an overhead transmission line and we want to understand how much maximum loading capability can be there, then the surge impedance loading will be an important aspect. The maximum three-phase active power transfer capability of a transmission line is called the surge impedance loading. That is the meaning. Surge impedance loading is basically the power. So the maximum three-phase active power, so it is about the reactive active power P. the how much maximum three-phase active power a line can transfer is known as the surge impedance loading. Now, when dealing with high frequencies, because at power frequency is around 50 hertz to 60 hertz, 50 hertz to 60 hertz, you will have power frequency. So, at high frequency or with surges due to lightning, losses are often neglected and then surge impedance become important. So power frequency is 50 to 60 hertz, but when the frequency is quite high or the surges condition, when you have lightning or switching action, losses are often neglected and surge impedance becomes important in that case. So it is defined as the power. So this is the first definition that we have defined. The maximum three-phase power that the transmission line can take is known as the surge impedance loading. Next, we can define that surge impedance loading is that power which is delivered by a line to a purely resistive load. Why? Because Zs is equal to under root L by C, and this is equal to the resistive load equal in value to the surge impedance of the line. So this is the second definition of surge impedance loading. Now let us see. So when you are loaded the line, then the value of IL will be equal to VL by under root 3 times Zs. Okay, because we know the formula for power is equal to root 3 VL IL. We take the cos phi value to be 1. Correct? So here, and we know one formula for power as power is equal to VL square by Z also, R or Z. So we will use the formula IL is equal to VL by under root 3 ZS. So surge impedance loading is basically root 3 VL into this. So this is root 3 multiplied with the current multiplied with the voltage equation that you have. So the current equation you can substitute as VL by root 3 ZS. So if you substitute, we see that the surge impedance loading is equal to VL square by ZS. We know the formula for power again, that it is equal to V square by R. So on this line we can write the surge impedance loading is equal to VL, that is a line voltage, square divided instead of R we will write the ZS value, that is the surge impedance. From here we can see that the surge if we substitute the value of Zs is equal to under root L by C, then we get the surge impedance loading is this VL square under root multiplied with under root C by L. So the surge impedance loading is proportional to the square of the voltage. Surge impedance loading is directly proportional to the square root of the capacitance. Surge impedance loading is proportional to the inversely proportional to the square root of the inductance. So this formula for the surge impedance loading, and it is the function of the voltage, the line capacitance and the line inductance. So these three parameters will define what is the surge impedance loading. So surge impedance loading is the maximum power that is transferred through the line, and when you have the line terminated with the surge impedance is equal to under root L by C. So this completes the surge impedance discussion. In the next class we are going to discuss about more on long transmission line effect. Thank you.